What happens when a friendly chat about art and honesty suddenly turns into one of the most tense moments in daytime television? When Ethan Hawke sat down with Kelly Clarkson, no one imagined the conversation would spiral so far that he'd stand up and leave mid-interview. This wasn't a setup, it really happened. The tension was so thick you could feel it through the screen. Before we dive into what pushed Ethan to walk out, don't forget to subscribe and share your thoughts about celebrity interviews that take unexpected turns. It started like any other talk show moment. Kelly was all warmth and charm, greeting Ethan with a smile as the audience cheered. He took his seat and everything seemed normal. Kelly leaned forward. "Ethan, you've been in this business for so long. You've done everything from romance to serious dramas. What keeps you passionate?" Ethan thought for a moment. "For me, it's about truth. I've never cared about fame or approval. I just want to do work that means something real. Once you start chasing validation or numbers, you lose the reason for doing it." Kelly smiled, though there was a small shift in her expression. "That's interesting since you say you don't care about being liked, but here you are on a talk show. Aren't talk shows about connection and likability?" The crowd chuckled, but Ethan didn't. "Maybe. But I'm here to talk about the work, not perform a version of myself that fits a script. There's a difference between real connection and performative likability." A pause lingered. Kelly's smile stiffened. "Well, I think we try to do things differently here. We try to have genuine conversations." "Do you really?" Ethan asked, not rude, just direct. "I've been on plenty of shows. They all say that, but what they really want is a funny story, a plug, and a happy ending. Nobody wants the messy stuff." Kelly shifted. "We've had emotional conversations. We've talked about loss, mental health, and serious struggles." Ethan shook his head. "That's controlled depth, safe and edited. Real honesty makes people uneasy. It asks questions without neat answers." Kelly's smile was tight now. "Not everything has to be uncomfortable to have meaning. Joy matters too." "Of course," Ethan agreed. "But tell me, when's the last time you took a real risk here? Said something that might actually upset people?" The air grew heavy. The audience went silent. "I take risks," Kelly said evenly. "I share my personal struggles." "That's risk, is it?" Ethan pressed. "Sharing rehearsed vulnerability isn't risk, it's marketing." The audience gasped. Kelly leaned back, her jaw set. "Wow, I didn't realize you felt that way. This show exists because people connect with it." "I'm not attacking you," Ethan said calmly. "I'm talking about how everything turns into content. You're part of that, whether you admit it or not." "And you're not," Kelly snapped. "You're here promoting a film. You're part of the same machine. At least I'm honest about it. You act like you're above it." Ethan's tone hardened. "You're right. I'm promoting something. But I'm not pretending this is deep. You asked what drives me, and I told you the truth." "Sorry if it's not the clip you wanted." Kelly stood abruptly. "You know what, Ethan? Let's take a break." Cut to commercial. But Ethan stood too. "No, I think we're done. This is exactly what I mean. The moment it gets uncomfortable, we stop." "Sit down, Ethan," Kelly said sharply. "We can have a disagreement like adults." "Can we?" he asked. "Because it feels like honesty isn't welcome." Kelly's voice rose slightly. "You're a guest on my show. There's respect in that. I asked questions and you turned it into a speech." "I never called you a sellout," Ethan replied. "But you wanted the easy answer. When I gave you the real one, you got defensive." "The real answer?" Kelly shot back. "You've been condescending on my show." "That's not honesty, it's arrogance. You think being in a few art films makes you better?" "I didn't say that," Ethan said, his patience thinning. "But yes, there's a difference between art and content. Between creating something meaningful and creating to please." Kelly let out a sharp laugh. "So what I do is just content now. I try to make people smile, to connect, to inspire. That's fake to you?" "Not fake," Ethan said evenly. "Just edited." "Edited," Kelly repeated bitterly. "That's your polite way of calling it fake." "I'm saying shows like this have limits," Ethan said. "There are rules. You can't go deep because of sponsors, networks, and ratings. That's how it works." Kelly leaned in. "Then tell me what a real conversation looks like." Ethan took a breath. "Do you ever feel trapped by your image? Like you always have to be the positive one? Don't you ever want to scream or break down but can't because that's not what Kelly Clarkson does?" The audience froze. Kelly hesitated. "Of course I do," she admitted softly. "But that doesn't make me fake." It makes me professional. People watch this show to feel good, not broken. But isn't that exhausting? Ethan asked. Maybe, Kelly said. But I chose it. And I love it. It's not less meaningful because it's light. I'm not saying it's meaningless, Ethan replied. But there's a price. We've built a culture that avoids discomfort. We crave positivity so much we've forgotten how to deal with pain. Kelly nodded slowly. Maybe, but you're performing too. You're the tortured artist right now. That's your act. Ethan paused, his expression softening. Maybe you're right. Maybe we all are. Then what's the point of arguing? Kelly asked. If we're all performing, why judge mine? Because some performances admit they're performances, Ethan said. Others pretend they're real. Kelly shook her head. You're scared of happiness, Ethan. You think art has to hurt to matter. That's not wisdom, it's cynicism. It's realism, he said, his voice rising. The world's burning and we're all pretending it's fine. So your answer is to be miserable? Kelly shot back. That's not helping. I'm saying we should face reality, Ethan said. And I'm saying people need breaks, Kelly countered. They need moments of joy. That's not weakness, it's mercy. Ethan paused, uncertain. Kelly softened. I get it. Maybe we avoid the hard stuff, but entertainment can still heal. It reminds people of hope. Ethan sighed. I know, but we act like everything's okay. It's not. Kelly leaned forward. You make movies, Ethan. How's that any different? I try to make people think, Ethan said. And I try to make them feel, Kelly replied. Different paths, same purpose. Feeling isn't understanding, Ethan said quietly. And thinking without feeling isn't connection, Kelly countered. You're afraid of joy, Kelly continued. Not everything has to be deep. We're not even having a real conversation, Ethan said. This is a performance for cameras. Then why are you here? Kelly demanded. If it's all fake, why come? Maybe because I'm a hypocrite, Ethan admitted. Maybe I hope to say something real. But the format always wins. Kelly straightened. Then go. If you hate it so much, no one's keeping you here. Ethan met her eyes. You're right. He stood, and the audience murmured in shock. Wait, what are you doing? Kelly asked. Leaving, he said simply. You're right. I've disrespected your space. Ethan, sit down, Kelly said softly now. We can talk it out, can we? Ethan asked. Because every time it gets real, we pull back. I'm done pretending. So you're just walking out? Kelly's voice shook. That's unprofessional. Maybe, Ethan said. But it's honest. No, Kelly said, her voice trembling. It's ego. You're walking out because you can't take being challenged. Maybe, Ethan said quietly. But I still have to go. He walked off the stage. The audience sat silent, stunned. Kelly stood frozen, her face a mix of anger and disbelief. After a moment, Kelly faced the crowd. Well, that happened, she said, forcing a shaky laugh. Definitely not how I thought this would go. She looked at her notes, then tossed them aside. I'm not sure what to say. Part of me's mad, part embarrassed, and part wondering if he was right. The audience murmured softly. Kelly took a deep breath. I built this show to celebrate joy, to be a bright spot. But maybe we do avoid harder truths sometimes, she continued. Still, I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to make people happy. If I can give someone an hour of comfort, that matters. She looked straight at the camera. Ethan said I perform positivity. Maybe I do. But it's real to me. It comes from care. Kelly sat back. I think two people with very different beliefs just talked past each other. He thinks discomfort leads to truth. I think kindness helps people survive. Maybe both are right. The audience started to applaud. Kelly nodded slowly. Did I get defensive? Yes. Did he provoke me? Also yes. But it made me think, and that's something. She smiled faintly. Maybe I needed that reminder. Maybe we all did. Looking at the camera again, she said, So yeah, I'm glad it happened even if it was messy. Growth usually is. The applause grew louder. Kelly stood, smoothing her outfit. All right, she said with a small smile. That was a lot. We'll take a break, and when we come back, something lighter. I promise. As the show cut to commercial, the camera lingered on the empty chair Ethan had left behind, a silent symbol of what had just unfolded. So there it is. One of the most intense interviews in recent daytime TV history. Ethan Hawke walking out on Kelly Clarkson after a heated debate about truth, art, and entertainment. Both made points. Both got defensive. And both exposed something deeply human. Who do you think was right? Was Ethan justified in leaving, or was Kelly right to call him out? Tell us what you think below.